So I got in an argument with somebody about diet pop because I watched a video and basically it was citing the study that said that people who drank diet pop, they took like 300 people in this study, and half of them, or close to half of them or something, drank diet pop. The other half, they were just instructed to drink water, and both groups wanted to lose weight. That was their goal. And the group who drank diet pop ended up having like better health at the end of it. They maintained their weight loss. They lost more weight. Anyway, so one of these health gurus on Instagram who talks about like eating just whole foods all the time, exercising, getting sunlight, whatever. Those people. I was in the comments and people were arguing about diet pop, and I presented my argument. And I referenced the World Health Organization and how they categorized it as like a level 2 or 3 carcinogen or something like that. It's like below alcohol. And I was saying how it's not that big of it doesn't affect your health that much. And this girl who I clicked on her profile, she's probably like early 20s. And she was saying, like, her comment to me was, as soon as you said World Health Organization, I tuned out. And I like kind of got into a back and forth with her, and her whole mindset was the World Health Organization, don't trust anything they say. And I remember back when I was a little bit younger, specifically around like 2020, a little bit before, but then 2020 really drove this home that I lost trust in all the big health organizations. And I get that mindset of, yeah, they're highly influenced by big pharma. They're highly influenced by big food. I get it. But at the same time, you immediately dismiss anything, like any claim from somebody like that. So you're basing all of your trust in who it's coming from rather than the fact. Like if the World Health Organization were to state a fact, you wouldn't even look into it yourself. And I get even some studies are not super trustworthy. And a lot of times we have to trust our intuition. Is it smart to drink like a gallon of diet pop a day? No, probably not. But is it really going to affect your health if you drink like 1 or 2 or 3 a day? Realistically, like 1 or 2 if you're craving it. No, probably not. So, I don't know, I guess I was just a bit annoyed because this girl thought she was like smarter than everybody. And I remember thinking that way like 5 years ago. And I'm like, I used to think like that. And then I like told her that, and she was telling me to maybe go back to some of the ways that I was thinking. And I'm like thinking back, and I'm like, well, no, yeah, that's because like I hear that, and I'm like, okay, that's valid. Yeah, let me think about the way I was thinking. And it's like, no, that when you think about the fact of something rather than who it's coming from, and you look into the fact, whether that fact is true or not, it doesn't matter who it's coming from. You look at the fact itself. So, I don't know. I still, I still thought that even after she said, maybe you should think about your old ways of thinking, because the truth is in like 2020, like I was kind of angry, and I had that mindset of like, don't trust them at all. But what if you just, the people who believe everything the World Health Organization says are not open-minded to the health gurus who go against all of that, who go against the mainstream, like the people who stay away from Wi-Fi at all costs to protect their health, and they live off-grid, and they only eat organic produce all the time. Those types of people are angry at and closed-minded to like the mainstream and the World Health Organization. The people who trust the World Health Organization, like the people that just believe in the mainstream, are like look at those other people like, wow, you're crazy. But isn't there, I don't know, when somebody thinks they're being open-minded, maybe they were open-minded and that's what got them to go live off-grid or whatever, to like not trust anything mainstream. Maybe the open-mindedness got them there, but aren't they still closed-minded if they just shift teams. They just switch teams. They go from team, trust society's biggest organizations to team, no, just nature and my intuition and fuck all these studies. They're just switching teams and they're angry at the other side, and then it makes them closed-minded to that other team. Whereas, like why? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, why would you dismiss something just because, like, I stated a fact and I stated some evidence and it was from a study that was referenced by the World Health Organization or by like a specific company? Why would you just automatically dismiss it? It's like when people get angry at certain social media influencers who are getting a lot of fire right now, and they hear one thing from them, and they're all of a sudden they're like, they get all emotional. They're like, no, I don't trust anything that person says. They're a horrible person. It's like, whoa, I just said that person said something, and that thing is what I'm talking about. Sometimes, to be real with you, so that tangent's over now. This is just me talking to you, T-Roy, to viewer. Sometimes I'm a bit afraid to say that some influencer or some famous person said something. Like I'll say, like, I heard this thing, and I won't mention the person by name that I heard it from, because people take those facts with less bias because it's not from a certain person. But a lot of times they'll agree with the fact that I state. Like, let me just think of an example. Okay, let's say Bob Joe, the social media guy, is like getting a lot of fire right now because somebody said that he was a bad person, and now everybody thinks he's a bad person. And the New York Post is like posting a bunch of stuff about how he's a bad person. And then Bob Joe says something that kind of rings true to me, like, vegetables are good for you. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, like I'll be in a conversation with somebody in real life, and I'll be like, Bob Joe said, I actually heard Bob Joe say something like, vegetables are good for you. And then the person's like, well, I hate that person. It's like, well, wait, but are you listening? Like, vegetables are good for you though. I hate that person. It's like, but if I were to just say, like, I heard somebody say, like, vegetables are good for you. And then they're just like, this is the dumbest example, but hopefully you're just following. Like, I'll just say a fact, and then they might agree with it if I don't say it's from a certain person. Or if I say it's from a different person that they really like some famous celebrity. Oh yeah, I love that person. Oh, that's probably right. It's like, why do we do that? Why do we just get so emotional about the person instead of looking at the fact? You got thoughts on this? Let me know below. Thank you for watching.